Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is just gonna be a good old Q&A with me. So I haven't done a Q&A in almost a full year, so I thought it'd be something fun to do. And as I am getting ready to go on vacation in a couple weeks here, I'm trying to, get some videos knocked out ahead of time, and these are fairly easy for me to edit, so I thought it would be a good one to put in here. So I asked on Instagram and also on the YouTube community tab for some questions, so I'll try to get through as many as I can. So if you want to maybe learn a little bit more about me, let me go ahead and get started with the Q&A. Alrighty, so I did just get finished filming a recent hits and misses video, but I mentioned in there, I'm filming this on a Wednesday, which is the Polar Vortex 2019 day, which means it's like negative 35 degrees outside. I'm very cold. I have a sweater on under this, and then I just put another sweater on. This is my University of Amsterdam sweater, and it's very warm and one of my favorite sweaters, and it's very cold outside, so don't mind the hair, don't mind the sweater, but I was like, it's Q&A, it's pretty chill, right? Like, I can wear my big old sweatshirt and get away with it. It's crazy cold out there. Okay, so jumping into it, I think I'm gonna start with some Instagram questions and then move over to some YouTube ones. So, starting off here, we have from Xtina Burt. She said, can we have a sneak peek on the next book in your series? I'm dying to know more. Love you tons. Thank you. Oh, that means so much that the first question was a book question. That's so cool. So a sneak peek into the next book in the series. So I'm currently writing the 6th series. If you guys don't know, I'm also a published author. I'm currently writing my 8th novel. Books 6 and 7 are part of a series which is called The 6th. So Christy was book 1, Scarlett is book 2. I will have the Amazon links down below. And then I'm currently writing Lauren, who is book 3. We kind of know from really from Scarlett's book that Lauren wants to call off her wedding. She's engaged and she's really struggling, and she knows that she should call it off. She knows that she's not happy. So that is kind of where the book starts, is Lauren trying to figure out why is she not happy with a man that she's been with for 10 years. It's always been in the plan that she's going to marry him. What's going on? Why does she not want to? And kind of goes from there. So a big part of the book is Lauren calling off her wedding and figuring out what to do there, and kind of how her girlfriends rally around her. And then of course we are getting some intel from Scarlett's book as well. Scarlett went through a lot with one of the girls in the group, one of her best friends. So we get a little bit of follow-up between Scarlett and Tinsley as well. So Lauren hopefully will be out in the spring. I've had a lot of laptop issues, and it's been very challenging to write a book with all these laptop issues. I'm not gonna lie, it's been very challenging, but hopefully my goal was always spring of 2019, so I hope it'll be spring that will be out. Okay, so this is from KNJ Scorpio. She says, have you been looking for new houses yet, or are you waiting to sell yours first? We actually were looking for houses. We are moving because my husband has a different job and he works about an hour and a half away from where we live. So we are moving a little bit west, still in Iowa, but a little bit to the west. And he started working there last winter, I would say. And we've been looking for houses this entire time, and we finally found one. We're moving to a very small town. There's not a lot of houses for sale at once, and it's been a struggle. And so now we're trying to sell our house, and it's very stressful because if we can't, then we could possibly lose that house. And it took us a whole year for, not for us to find it, but for just a house to come up that's a good fit for us and affordable, and all those different things. So I'm a little bit stressed out about that. But yeah, we looked for almost an entire year for a house. Whew. Okay. Let's see. Sarah Loves Makeup 88. She says, what is your biggest love, writing and literature or makeup? Love you. Love you, girl. What is my biggest love? Honestly, I have such a passion for both, and that's why I just love that this is what I get to do. I always call myself a full-time dream chaser. People are like, do you consider books your full-time job? Do you consider YouTube your full-time job? I consider it all my full-time job. I'm just full-time chasing those dreams, but I absolutely love both. I could never envision a day where I'm not writing books. It's what I've wanted to do since I was 9 years old, and I have so many stories and so many ideas. I'm actually writing a standalone novel at the same time that I'm writing Lauren, because I have another book that has nothing to do with the 6th series that keeps popping into my head and won't leave me alone. So I'm also writing for that one, which I have planned to put out probably after Lauren. I'll put out a standalone and then finish off the next 3 in the 6th series. But I just can't imagine not writing or reading. I love reading as well, but I also love being able to do this. And honestly, my YouTube channel and how I look at my social media is so much more than just makeup and beauty and, you know, how I apply makeup and what are my favorites. It's really such a community feeling, and it's so hard to describe the feeling that you get when you realize that you're connecting with people really all over the world, from all different walks of life, people that you wouldn't have the chance to be able to connect with and talk to and befriend, you know, have it not be for the internet. So it's such a special thing for me. So I just, once I built up the courage to finally start YouTube and really getting into this, it's another thing where it's, you know, I film every single day, Monday through Friday for YouTube. I upload every single day except for Saturday to YouTube. I love it. I love watching YouTube videos. I love, you know, talking to people in the comments. It's another thing that I just can't imagine myself not doing anymore. So I love them both. It's really hard to choose. This is from Dia. She says, how old are you? P.S. Love you so much. I love you guys. Love you guys. Be so nice to me. I am 31. I will be 32 in March. Actually, I'll be 23 in March. It's this weird thing. It's like going backwards. 23 in March. I'm just kidding. I'm 31. Okay. Alex Arada says, would you ever move somewhere warmer? It's always been my dream to live somewhere a little bit warmer. I actually never really envisioned myself staying in Iowa. I went to high school in Iowa, and then I came to college, and my brother-in-law is in the Army, and my mom moved down to live with my sister and her family when I was 18 and went off to college. She moved with them. I think they were in North Carolina at the time. And then my mom just never left, and she moves around with them. My family moves like every 4 years. And she's just never left. You know, my sister has 3 kids, and then she adopted a baby about 5 years ago, adopted the baby, and he just turned 6. And so my mom just never left. You know, I don't have any kids. My little brother doesn't have kids, so she gets to be around the grandkids and all of that, which is fantastic. And I always envisioned myself going to college, graduating, and then going to live with my family, moving around. I love traveling. So I just kind of always assumed that I would just go down and be with them and whatnot. But I met my husband my 2nd year of college, and his family is from here. Where we are moving, that is where his family lives, his mom and dad, sister, brother, their families, etc. So when we, you know, got a little bit older and talked about what we wanted to do, you know, I always said I wanted to move, and he didn't want to move, and we had to figure out, okay, do we stay together? Do we not stay together? What do we do? And obviously we ended up staying together and getting married and all of that. And my compromise was we have to travel as much as we can. I want to go on a trip every year. I want to go somewhere. I want to see places. And we did for a while. We always visit my family wherever they are, which is good. And we try to do as many trips as we can. We're going to Punta Cana in 2 weeks, which I'm super excited about. We definitely had a very dry spell with not going anywhere. And I mean, that just came with, you know, money and financial stuff and all of that, but I really hope that we can continue to keep traveling, especially now that we're moving to an even smaller city. I hope that we will be able to get out and travel a little bit more, but I don't think that I would like physically move anywhere, especially with my husband's job and, you know, now getting to be around his family. I don't really see us moving out of Iowa. Crystal and Justin said, what is your favorite thing to do in your spare time? I don't feel like I have a ton of spare time. Since I work from home and I work for myself, I work a lot. I definitely have to rely on my husband to tell me when I'm in my office too much and I need to like come out into the real world. But you know, I love reading and writing. Those are huge passions of mine, and then they just also happen to be my career. You know, I love YouTube, also happens to be my career. I'm really into fitness. I love working out. I try to get in my workouts every single day. I love yoga. I practice yoga daily. I love to dance. There's a lot of times where I'll just go up into like my bathroom or my room or something. I'll turn on music really loud and I'll just dance for like an hour. It's a good workout. It gets me sweaty every time, and I just have a lot of fun doing it. So I love dancing. I don't do that any sort of like professionally at all. I have a dog, so I like to hang out with her. I'm pretty boring, really, to be honest. So this question is from Joy to the Alyssa. She says, if you were to write a book in a genre other than chick lit, what genre and why? I do really like chick lit. My blog is called Chick Lit Plus. I do have a book blog, and I'm a book reviewer as well. The 6 series is definitely chick lit. I do also write women's fiction, or like edgy women's fiction, dark women's fiction, gritty women's fiction have been some of my books. New adult, my first 2 books are considered new adult genre, but if I were to write something else from like chick lit or women's fiction, I really want to write like a dual reality book. I don't know exactly what genre that would fall under, but basically where there's 2 alternate realities in the story. I think that would be really interesting. Or I've always wanted to write like a psychological thriller or a suspense novel. I love reading those. It's one of my favorite genres as well. I would love to be able to write something like that also. So get a question if we're planning to have kids. I think that we both want kids, but we don't have anything kind of set in stone, and especially with all this move stuff going on, we have no like real plans for that, but maybe someday in the future. Amy loves makeup. Hello, Amy. She said, what character in your books is the most like you? So in my first book, which is called Destined to Fail, the book is kind of told in 2 parts. We have a main character, and there's the story of like her past, and then there's more of the present and when she goes off to college. Her past story is basically my past. I've talked about on my channel before about being sexually abused at a young age and kind of what happened there. That story is in there, and kind of like my childhood and things like that, that's in the story. Once the character goes off to college, that's where it turns into fiction, but so I'm definitely like Jasmine in that story, the beginning part of it. I feel like there's probably like little parts of me in a lot of my stories. My second book, The Green Ticket, that's based on a true story that happened in my life. So I'm a little bit like the main character in there, but not a ton. It's more just like the surrounding story is real events that happened to me that were just so crazy. I knew one day I would write a book about it. But then I feel like there's like little parts of me, like especially with Scarlett, I felt like I could relate a lot to Scarlett from the 6 series. You know, she's someone who gets very emotional very easily, which I definitely am. You know, we're a little bit more on like the quiet, soft-spoken side, which we are. So like, little parts of me are in those characters as well. But I would say probably the first 2 books, definitely. And that kind of, I think, shows as an author, when I was first writing, I was really relying on kind of me and my history, my past and everything to write books, whereas now I definitely give myself a lot more creative freedom when I'm writing my books and building up the characters, because I have more confidence in myself as a writer, if that makes sense. Let's see. Coffee Wine It's Fine, hello. She says, how do you schedule like filming and posting your Instagram content? For Instagram, I'm someone who's definitely very like structured and scheduled out. It's just really the only way that I can function. So for Instagram, I kind of have like a, I don't know if I would call it like a theme, but one day I'll post like a flat life photo. The next day I'll post like a photo, you know, of my face, of my makeup. The next day I'll post some sort of video, a tutorial, skincare, something like that. And those are the 3 that I post. So if you look at my feed, there's kind of like an order to it. Again, that's just the only way I know how to function. Otherwise, I would have no idea what it is that I'm posting. So that's kind of how I plan it out, and I just have to do it. I mean, my YouTube channel is really similar. You know, a lot of times on Monday, I'm posting review videos. Wednesday, I'm posting the Will I Buy It series. Friday, I'm posting like a get ready with me or trying new makeup. Saturdays, I take off. Like, I just have to have that structure. Otherwise, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's so true. Let's see. This is from Jess Craik. I'm probably mispronouncing all of your names. We know that. But she said, will we ever meet Mitch? So Mitch is my husband. I don't know. He hasn't been in any of my like sit down with me videos. I've done a couple vlogs and, you know, he's been in those and things like that, but he hasn't sat down with me at all. And I don't know. Well, there was one time, and this was a while ago, I can remember saying to him, if I ever hit 100,000 subscribers, would you be in a video with me? And he said yes. And we just hit 75. So that day might be coming. But he's not like first of all, he's not like a social media guy. He doesn't have Facebook. He's also not really like a camera person. It's just not his thing. And I don't ever want to put someone on my channel or even just like in photos or whatever on the internet if they're not comfortable with it. But if there was a day that he was like, you know what, yep, let's do it, then I would totally love to have him. But we'll see. I'll remind him about the 100K question, because that was like 2 years ago probably that I asked him. We'll see if he still says yes. Alicia Solher says, as your channel grows, will you consider more meet and greets? I've never done like a proper meet and greet, but I would definitely be open to it. I don't know if anyone would want to like come meet me. Me and Ashley Clady and Georgia Harris went to the Iowa State Fair last summer. We met a couple people there. That was really fun. But I mean, I would love to meet people. I feel like it sounds like a really weird thing for me to be like, I have a meet and greet. I don't think I'm there yet. But I would definitely love to meet people. That would be so awesome. Let's see. So Phoebe Eliz says, working from home habits, tricks, or ways to be productive. For me, it's definitely like lists and scheduling things out. You know, I kind of have a set schedule of what I do right away in the morning. I know what time I work out. I know what time I break for lunch. Like, I try to keep my work schedule really similar to how it was when I worked at the hospital. Like, I know when I took my 15-minute break in the morning, and that's what I use as my workout, which is longer than 15 minutes. But, you know, I take a break for that. I, you know, typically eat lunch at the same time every single day. I know when I'm breaking for that. I know when I'm doing an afternoon break, etc. So I really just keep a solid schedule to keep me on track. And then, you know, just little things like, for me, not turning on the TV, not having a lot of distractions in my office. I do have a home office, which is great. You know, I don't have a TV in here, or, you know, things like that to get me distracted. And just, I feel like working from home requires a lot of self-motivation, and I feel like I've always been very highly self-motivated. So and I also really enjoy what I do, so that kind of helps just keep everything on track for me, because I want to be doing it. I'm choosing to be doing this, so it's fun for me to work as well, which is awesome. I love it. So this question is from Makeup by Nishi. It says, which type of food is your favorite? Spicy, sweet, salty, cheesy, or other? Definitely not spicy. I'm not a spicy girl at all. And sometimes my husband will laugh because like he loves spicy food, and he'll tell me like, pepper isn't spicy, Samantha. Like, that's not spicy. Like, we'll make something at home and then he'll dump like hot sauce or whatever in it to try to like spice it up a little bit more. I'm definitely a big fan of sweet, salty, and cheesy. I don't know if I could live my life without cheese or desserts. That just sounds terrible. So can I pick 3? Ashley E. Bailey says, what do you feel is the easiest and most difficult thing about being a self-published author? I would say one of the harder parts of being self-published is that even though you might think, you know, I have complete control over everything. I decide what my books are going to be about. I decide my covers. I decide what I'm going to publish, da-da-da-da. You have to be publishing through someone in order to get your book out there. So my books are all on Amazon, and it's not just as easy as saying, here, Amazon, publish this book. There's a lot that goes into it. And I feel like every single time I've gone to publish a book, there's some sort of issue with Amazon where I'm on the phone the day before the book is scheduled to go live, and I've already put out the release date, talking to Amazon over some sort of issues. This last one, there was an issue with the ISBN number that I was trying to figure out, because you have to buy, you know, the copyright for your book, you have to buy your serial number for the book, and all these different back-end things that you have to do on Amazon. Amazon can refuse to publish your books. So if there's any sort of issue or any sort of trouble, like with Christy, they were saying to me that they couldn't prove that I owned the copyright, even though I did. I owned the copyright and the serial number. They were saying, like, you need to give us a written note from the original author that it's okay for you to publish this book. And I'm like, I am the original author. Like, I have all the paperwork. I have all the everything that I'm giving to you. I truly was on the phone with Amazon 48 hours before this book was set to publish. I had no idea if we were actually going to go live on time. So there's certain things that are taken out of your control, and they're pretty big things that are taken out of your control. And that's also who controls your paychecks too. So I mean, that can be a really frustrating thing, and something that not everyone might realize. The easiest thing about being a self-published author, I don't know if any part is like truly easy, but you know, it's nice. Like I said, I make my own schedule. You know, I don't have an agent or, you know, someone saying like, you have to have this by this date and this by that date, or, you know, you need to change this character completely. I have a really good team around me now of people who, you know, work with me on my books and all of that, and they know my style and they know my writing, and they're not asking me to completely overhaul a novel like you can get in traditional publishing. So all of that's really good. So just a few things that I think of. Let's see. Melissa Phillips, hello. She says, would you get another dog? We definitely would like another dog. We had an opportunity to get another Vizsla about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, maybe. And we were so excited about it, but we knew that the timing wasn't great with trying to move, trying to keep a house clean, bringing you know, a puppy in would be very difficult. We knew that we were hoping to plan a vacation. We hadn't had it booked at that time, but we knew that we really wanted to try to make a vacation happen. So then leaving a puppy, it just seemed like terrible timing and all of that. We ended up not doing it. It was right before Christmas, that's what it was, because we would have gotten him, it was a boy, like 5 days before Christmas, and then we knew that we were going to be traveling, and it just seemed like a lot. But we would really love to get another dog. We would really love another Vizsla. I also asked, coffee or nachos? Nachos. Nachos all the way. All the way. Okay, so let's see. Sammy Nella says, how is the house selling buying going? Very slow. Very slow and stressful. Very slow and stressful. CRox85 says, how are you feeling now that your channel is growing? Are you excited, happy, nervous? I'm definitely very excited. It's so cool to see growth. It's so exciting to know that people keep coming back to my channel and watching my videos and wanting to support and making new friendships and all of that. That's so amazing. There is definitely an amount of like nervousness that comes with it. I think one thing that kind of sticks out to me is, you know, I've gotten this comment myself, but people are saying like, you know, oh, I'm glad that you don't have a ton of subscribers because you're more relatable, or I trust you more, or whatever. So it's kind of like, okay, so as I grow, am I just automatically less trustworthy? Like I don't even have to do anything to not be trustworthy. People would just see I have a lot of subscribers and think like, oh no, she must not be trustworthy. I don't know. That's kind of like a weird thing and a weird comment to get, because it's almost like a nice thing that you're saying like, oh, I find you trustworthy, but don't grow. Like don't have success. Like I don't know. I never really know how to take that kind of comment. But I just hope as I continue to grow that I continue to be myself. I don't feel like that I've changed much in probably the 3 years that I've been on YouTube, and going from 0 to 75,000 subscribers. I still feel like myself. So yeah, it's exciting and it's nervous at the same time, and you feel maybe as more people are watching your channel that we live in, what is it called now, like the cancel culture. People just look for reasons to get mad at you. People look for reasons to point out your flaws and point out your mistakes, and as you have more eyes on you, that's more people that, you know, there's bad eggs everywhere. There's more of those people that are trying to find ways to bring you down. So this question I think is pretty funny. This is from Trey S. Jessica. She said, I was watching your lip declutter. Do you not like Urban Decay lip products? No, I put a pinned comment on my lip declutter. I just posted a massive lipstick collection declutter, and in the middle of the video I realized I was missing some lipsticks. I put the video on pause. I went to find them. Since our house is open right now for like showings and all of that, all of my makeup is stored away. Some of it's in the bathroom closet, some of it's in the basement, like it's just everywhere. And so I realized as I was filming, I couldn't find one of my drawers of lipsticks. I ended up finding it. It was like 3 days later, I opened up one of my desk drawers behind me, and there was my Urban Decay lipsticks in its own drawer. And I was like, oh no. So I put a pinned comment there saying I had just totally overlooked my Urban Decay lipsticks. No, I have like 10 of them. I love the Vice lipsticks. I just couldn't find them at the time that I was filming the declutter. Can't wait to move. And it also says, if you could, would you ever see yourself coming out with your own brand, like a makeup brand? No, I don't think so. I don't really have that amount of like creativity to create a whole brand. Like I love makeup and talking about it and wearing it and all of that, but I'm not artistically creative in that sense. You know, I can write books and all of that, but I don't really have that kind of vision. That I can't see that kind of vision. You know, when my husband was working on finishing our basement, he would take me down there and say like, okay, now picture this over here and picture that over there, and I would just stare blankly at him. It's like, I don't have that in my mind. That's why I love YouTube tutorials so much, following step by step, because it's just, I just don't have that mind, you know? But I genuinely couldn't see myself coming out with my own brand. maybe like a collab one day would be super cool, but I think that I would focus on my books, you know, kind of branding that way. And I also really love clothes. Like I would love to do something with like a fitness line or something. I love clothes. I love clothes. And this is really funny because Jenna also asked favorite place to buy workout clothes. Recently, I've been really into Bombshell sportswear. I'll have them linked down below. But I've bought quite a few leggings and even like sports bras from Bombshell, and I think that they're really nice quality. So Jamie Rank says, what are some brands you don't use and why? And she says, juicy question. It is a juicy question. I actually had an idea. So I've been doing this for a couple years now, but I talk about like I just posted 9 brands I want to try in 2019. And someone commented and said, you should do 9 brands that you're not going to try in 2019. And I really thought about it, and I actually posted on my YouTube community tab. I was like, would you guys want to see a video like this? I'm not a very like, I'm not like a tea spiller. I'm not like into the drama and all of that. I just try to stay out of it and stay focused on positive things. But I was like, I think I can spin this as like maybe brands I'm just not interested in, or I've tried products from and they haven't really worked out for me. So like you probably won't see these brands on my channel in 2019. Like, you know, kind of a juicy video, but in my own style, if you will. So my camera needed to cool down, so where was I? I was thinking about doing that video, and then, you know, a lot of people left in comments, and a lot of people seemed to want to see it, but then there was also some good feedback of like, I might just be opening myself up to like drama and hate and all of that, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do it. So I ended up passing on it. I just, you know, probably wouldn't be a good fit with my channel and all of that. But one brand that I was gonna mention is Jeffree Star. And Jeffree Star, obviously, there's just a lot of controversy around Jeffree Star, who owns Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And I've been more open to the idea of trying out his products recently, but I've decided that I wasn't going to, because no matter what you say about him, someone hates you for it. And not just like they dislike you, they leave you the worst comments on your channel, and not even just me, but other people. Because like if I were to mention Jeffree Star in the past in like a will I buy a video or something, no matter what, there was hateful comments. And if someone else were to comment something, whether in support or not in support of Jeffree Star, someone else would come and say horrible things to them. So it was like, not only do I want to not put myself through the comments that come just with mentioning his name, I don't want to put other people out there, because I can't be in my comments all of the time looking for those hateful messages, and it just makes me so sad. And you know, someone that I know on YouTube recently posted, like he did like a mystery bag or something, and she said the comments were so terrible on that video, she straight up wanted to quit YouTube. Not just take down that video, she wanted to quit YouTube over them. And I'm like, you know what, I just can't do that. Like I just can't. So even though I was like kind of coming around to the idea of like trying something out or whatnot, I just don't want to put myself through it, and I don't want to put other people who watch my channel through that. And it makes me really sad, but for whatever reason, his following just seems to be that way. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is, but that's why you won't see Jeffree Star mentioned on my channel. So let's see, Deanna3733 says, how long have you and Mitch been married and how did you meet? I'm a sucker for love. We have been married, it'll be 6 years this coming September, so 5 years. We have been married, and we met in college. Whoop, whoop. Snoopy Coupon says, does Mitch like nachos as much as you do? No, he does not. A lot of times when we order nachos, like we have like specific like barbecue places that we order from, he typically gets wings, and I get nachos, but it's fine because it means that I don't really have to share. Okay, so those are a lot of the ones from Instagram. I also, the day that I'm posting this and the day that I asked for those questions, I posted a giveaway on my Instagram, so I'm also getting a flood of comments. So I'm sure I missed some questions over there, so apologies if I missed your question, but I'm gonna hop over to the YouTube community tab and try to finish this off with some questions over here. Annie Thomas says, how did you decide you wanted to become an author? I'm really inspired by you to start my own novel, but I'm confused on the process of it. How did you get published? I've just really always known that I've wanted to write books. I love reading as a child. You know, I was always in the library. It was so funny. I visited my family currently in Alabama, and I visit them over Thanksgiving, and my mom had like a box of like my old books and stuff, and like old letters and photos. I had written out like a Mother's Day card or something for my mom, you know, little Samantha had. It was, you know, happy Mother's Day or happy birthday or whatever it was. And then on the top in the corner it says, and when can we go to the library? I was like, yes, that's so me. It's such a question I would ask. So that really cracked me up. But because, you know, that's what I love doing. I just knew I wanted to create my own story someday. But a big part of it was because I was sexually abused when I was 11. When I came forward with my story, I actually had a friend that I went to the elementary school with. She came forward and said that she was also being abused by an uncle, and she had told me that she didn't think she would have ever told someone had I not told my story first. And it was such a huge impact on me, and I thought, well, I need to tell more people. How can I do this? And writing books was the answer for me. So in all of my books, I try to include, you know, some sort of message in there, and not just about abuse, but, you know, just any sort of like life lessons in general that I can spread through my books, I think is just really important. So that was a big motivating factor of wanting to tell my story more and on a bigger level, was why I really wanted to write books. How did I get published? I do, like I said, I do self-publish. I do self-publish through Amazon. It is called KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. There's a lot of videos on it. There's a lot of literature. If you just Google KDP Amazon, it really walks you through the whole steps. But like I said, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of research that you have to do before you publish a book. You need to copyright your book. You need to get a serial number, an ISBN for your book, etc. You know, you do have to hire people like an editor, a proofreader, a cover designer. There's a lot that goes into that. It's definitely very expensive to publish a book. I don't think everybody realizes that. It's very pricey to publish a book. But if it's something that you want to do and you love doing, then you'll do it, you know? Cassandra Lee says, I know you work at home, so you are home a lot. What are some of your favorite things to do and places to go away from home? I am home a lot. I'm also very much a homebody. Like, I really am. I typically prefer staying at home, but you know, I do have a good group of friends, and we like to go out and hang out. Us and the couple that we're traveling to Punta Cana with, we kind of have like a couple regular spots where if we're bored, you know, there's like certain bars or restaurants that we'll go out to and, you know, play pool or darts or karaoke. Karaoke queen over here. So, you know, we like to do that, but especially in the wintertime, you know, we don't do a whole lot. In the summer, we definitely do a lot more. One of our friends has a boat, so we like to get out on the water as often as we can, etc. But I'm very much a homebody. I feel like I've been doing more recently. I think it's because we're moving, and so, you know, I'm going to be an hour and a half away from my friends, which isn't just, you know, a 10-minute car ride like I have now. So I feel like I'm definitely doing more and going out a little bit more as well, but deep down, I'm a homebody. Kate McGee says, what's your favorite movie? Some of my favorite movies are Clueless, Legally Blonde, I love Elf. I actually just watched Mean Girls the other day. We had like a movie night because it was super cold here, so we went to a friend's house and we had movie night. We watched Mean Girls. Classic. Still an excellent movie. Emily and Max, hey girl, she says, tips for transitioning to self-employed, hours worked on your own thing while working outside the home versus hours able to work on your own now. So yes, I used to work multiple jobs at a time, but before I was, you know, fully self-employed, I did work at a hospital. I worked admin at a VA hospital, and it's definitely, there's definitely a transition period. And one thing that I'll say, I get a lot of messages of people saying like, I really want to make a go on YouTube, but I don't have enough time. Like, should I just quit my job? And I never recommend that unless you have some sort of means to provide for yourself still and support yourself while not making a stable income. It takes a very long time to do that on YouTube. I'll just kind of say my story is that when I started my blog in 2009, I actually worked 3 jobs at the time. So the only times that I could really work on my blog and the book reviews and just kind of like learning how to blog in general and being on social media was very late at night. You know, I didn't get a lot of sleep in those times, but I was also like in my, you know, early 20s, so I could bounce back more easily. But I also turned down a lot in that time when I was trying to do everything, when I was trying to establish myself as a blogger. I mean, I can remember my friends giving me so much crap. How come you're missing this birthday party? How come you're not going out tonight? You never go out anymore. What are you doing? And those same friends now are saying, damn girl, look at you working from home. Look at you working for yourself. Look at you making your own hours. Yeah, it's because I turned down a lot of things, and it was definitely hard because, you know, being in your early 20s and being in college or post-college, there's so much going on and there's so many things to do, and that was, you know, my prime time. where I turned down a lot of those things, but it was totally worth it to me now that this is what I get to do. I get to be a full-time dream chaser. It's incredible. So it's just kind of funny when I hear some of those same friends say things to me like that, and I'm just like, yeah, remember when you made fun of me for not going out for drinks that one night? Like, this is why. This is what I was working towards. This was, you know, what I was trying to make happen. So it's super challenging. It really is. I don't want to like sugarcoat anything and say that, you know, it's super easy and it happens overnight. You know, like I said, it's been 10 years that I've been doing this. Some years are better than others. Some years are absolutely terrible. You know, everything that I do is not stable. Book publishing is not stable. Book publishing took a huge hit right when I decided to quit my job and go full-time into books. The book publishing industry just took a giant hit. I was working kind of like freelance for another publishing company. They shut down very unexpectedly, very quickly. That was super stressful. My book sales were slowing down and I was like, great, I just quit my job. Like, this is perfect. But to get back to the question of transitioning, I don't know if I have like really good tips other than you have to be willing to put in that extra time and that extra energy, and you might have to say, you know, I really enjoy doing this on the side. This is my hobby. You might have to cut that out for a while as you're trying to transition and really give it a go. Because, you know, like I said, I liked going out with my friends. I went to like fitness classes. I gave up my YMCA membership. This was just from Kay. Says, what nicknames do you have for your dog? We have so many nicknames. Bear, Boo Bear, Boo Boo, the Queen V, because she's a Vizsla. One of my nicknames for her is Nasty. When she's doing something bad, I just, you nasty, you nasty. I say that to her a lot. But probably either Boo Bear or Bear, some sort of bear. I have no idea why we came up with Bear, or Queen V, because she's the queen. She's the Queen V. Angie Morgan says, what are your favorite TV shows? I don't really watch TV a whole lot. I don't have like favorite current shows. I still love like Sex and the City. I'll watch Sex and the City all day long. Friends, yes, totally. But like current shows, I don't really keep up with anything sometimes. So we'll watch like a Netflix documentary. We just watched You. But that's more for me to consciously get out of my office and stop working for a bit and to spend some time with my husband. And she also said, what are your favorite alcoholic beverages? I'm a big fan of like Angry Orchards. I'm not a beer drinker, but that's like a cider. I really like wine, like white wine. I'm not a big wine drinker, but like a good Moscato, something a little like bubbly maybe. That's pretty good. Michelle Eberson says, what is one thing about yourself that you don't like and would change if you could? Not necessarily physical, maybe a trait you don't like. I think that's a really interesting question because I feel like there's a lot of things about me that maybe I just wish were a little bit different, or like I wish I wasn't that way. I wish I wasn't so sensitive. Like I kind of touched on that a little bit earlier, but I really am. I wish I wasn't. I get visibly emotional very, very easily, and I wish I didn't get so upset. But also, this is especially in my real life, I take things so personally. Like someone can leave me a bad comment on YouTube and like, yeah, it can kind of hurt, but you know, okay, brush it off. But if I have a friend say something hurtful to me, I will think about it, and I will think about it, and I will think about it. And it just, I don't know, it just can eat away at me for the longest time. And maybe it wasn't even like they weren't even trying to be mean, or they just said something kind of offhand and they'll never think about it again, but I won't be able to get it out of my head. Like that drives me crazy. Okay, so my camera overheated again and the battery is starting to die, and it's getting pretty late, and now the sun is like awkwardly coming in through my window, so the lighting is probably crazy. So I'm gonna try to finish this up. That means I've been filming for quite some time. But so this is from George and Liz Vlogs. They said, how do you find the time to record, edit, and upload while you also run a blog and write books? It's definitely just, obviously the self-motivation is really huge. Just keeping yourself accountable, keeping yourself on track. Like I said, making the list, my to-do list, when I need to finish certain things. And I mean, really, like I said, the biggest thing is holding myself accountable, knowing when I have to say no to going out for something, you know, knowing when I have to maybe stay up a little bit later or get up a little bit earlier in the morning to finish something out. So yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot, but it's also, I love doing it. So a lot of times a work day doesn't even feel like a work day to me because I just enjoy what I do. So that really, really does help. Shalonda Tavares says, what's your secret pet peeve? I don't know if this is like a secret one, but just a big pet peeve of mine is just negativity. Like I have people in my life that I feel like they can only see the negative in anything. We can walk by a nice house and they're like, oh, look at the landscaping looks terrible, or the driveway is cracked or something, and I'm like, look at the beautiful house. Like, I don't, you know, that's just a kind of a weird example, but there's just, and sometimes I feel like with some people in my group of friends, they're just so negative, or they would prefer to find the negative in any sort of situation, and I'm just such the opposite of that. So just negativity. Ugh. And then I'm seeing some other questions about like if we're going to have kids and get another dog and where we're moving, so I've kind of covered that, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here because my camera has actually died 4 times now, like overheated 4 times. So I think that I've been filming for quite some time. I know I didn't get to everyone's questions. There was so many questions, so I'm sorry if I didn't get to yours, but I tried to get to as many as I could. Thank you so much if you sent in a question. Maybe you learned a little something new or different about me. I would love to hear any of your feedback down below. Did anything I say surprise you? I'd love to know. Other than that, if you guys did enjoy this one, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope that you also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.